Hey guys, it's me again, Shana Boyer with Spectrum Real Estate Consultants at Keller Williams Realty. Wanted to make a video for our sellers out there today. Sellers, homeowners, whatever we want to call it. If you already own a home, this video is for you. So a couple things I want to cover today, talking about refinancing. Why should I refinance? Do I have to wait to refinance my home? If I do refinance, should I consider reducing my term? What's the cost of a refinance? Is it expensive? And lastly, does it make sense for me personally? Because everybody's situation is different. Now, first and foremost, why should I consider refinancing? It typically has to do with cost savings over the life of your loan or the term of your loan, right? Interest rates are stupid low right now, guys. When I first got into the business, my first job in the industry back in 2003, 2004, I was talking to people with 14, 16, 18% interest rates. Completely nuts. As of Monday of this week, a 30-year fixed rate was still between 2.875 and 3%. 3% versus, like I was saying, 14, 16, 18%. It's completely nuts. A 15-year mortgage as of Monday of this week was still between 2.5 and 2.625. So again, money, it's completely insane how low interest rates are. And now I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, it's just 1%. You know, what does 1% really save me? You'd be really surprised. If you can drop your interest rate 1%, one full percentage, a refi typically makes a lot of sense financially if you plan to stay in the home long term. So when we put that to numbers and we look at real numbers, right? A 30-year mortgage at 3.75, you pay $200,164 in interest over that 30-year term. That burns, right? 200 grand. Whew. But now, if you're able to drop that interest rate, one full percentage, that 30-year mortgage down to a 2.75, you actually spend $140,902 in interest. Still a tough pill to swallow, but when we think about it respectively, that's $59,262 in interest saved with the same monthly payment. Monthly payment doesn't change, and you save 60 grand over the same loan. I don't know about you, but that's pretty amazing. And when you think about what you could do with 60 grand, I don't know, but I could have a lot of fun with it, right? So question, do I have to wait to refinance? A lot of people are under the impression, oh, I bought my house a year ago, 2 years ago. Isn't there a certain period of time that I have to wait before I can refinance my mortgage? Now the fact is that with most lenders, there's no prepayment penalty. So you can actually refi at any time, but it's important that you call the mortgage person that wrote your mortgage or helped you get your mortgage in the first place, because they'll be able to walk you through any nuances and to give you guidance there. But long story short, no, most of the time there absolutely is no prepayment penalty, so you can refinance at any time. Now, when we talk about reducing your term with the new loan, so a lot of people, oh, well, I was at a 30, I can drop it down to 15. For everybody, it's different, and there are a bunch of different things to take into consideration. With everything going on right now with COVID and so many unknowns, it may make a lot of sense to keep that 30-year term to give yourself the option to make a smaller payment. Right? So you can still continue to pay additional towards your principal each month in order to keep chipping away at the term of your loan and at the principal balance of your loan, which would shorten that term. But if you happen to fall on hard times, you have the opportunity to make that smaller payment because you stretched the loan out over that 30-year term again. Again, it's different for everybody, just my 2 cents, where sometimes it does make sense to keep that 30-year term. That way you have the option to make a smaller payment, but you can always pay additional if you choose to. Now, the other neat thing is with interest rates right now, depending where your interest rate is currently at, you may be able to cut your term, so change it from a 30-year to a 20 or a 15 and keep the same payment that you have now. That's insane. Nothing changes except how long you have to pay that mortgage. Pretty awesome. Now, when we talk about the expense of refinancing, a lot of people think that it's really expensive. On average, it costs about $3,500. And I know that that's not chump change, but what's $3,500 when you're saving 60 grand? I mean, when you put it in perspective, it's money well spent. And the other thing to consider too is a lot of times that $3,500 can actually be rolled into the new loan. So that means minimal money out of your pocket, if anything out of pocket, in order to get it done. Obviously, you don't have to do it that way. If you want to pay it outright, you can, but a lot of times you have the option to roll that expense in, so it really doesn't cost you a lot of or just about anything. Now, should I refinance? That's a question that you have to weigh in for your own circumstances. A good rule of thumb is if we take the cost of the refinance, that $3,500, and we divide it by the savings that you would receive on a monthly basis to see how many months it will take you to recoup the funds, a lot of times it's easier for you to make that determination. So if we look at $3,500 in expense and you say you were going to save $200 per month, that means that it would take you 17 and a half months, or roughly a year and a half, to recoup that expense. So now if you intended on only being in this house for, another year or 2 years, it may not make sense for you to refinance. But if this is your forever home and you plan on being here indefinitely, or, 5, 10 years or more, then it absolutely makes sense for you to refinance, because the amount of money that you save far outweighs the expense that you incur in order to make that change. And further, refinancing now, especially if you intend to stay in the home long term, you'd never have to refinance again. I mean, interest rates, they're so incredibly low. So a couple pieces of information for you to chew on. Hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you'd like to chat, please always feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate. Again, Shana Boyer with Spectrum Real Estate Consultants at Keller Williams Realty. My cell phone 401-623-1037. And you can always find us online at spectrumrec.com. Thanks so much for watching. Look forward to speaking with you soon, and I hope you have a great day.